Our last section is 9.4, discounting a note before maturity. What I mentioned to you earlier is that now it's going to make a little bit more sense why we actually deal with discounts. And so the example here, this is a pretty good graphic representation. A boat manufacturer manufactures a boat, sells the boat to a boat retailer. The retailer says to the boat manufacturer, I promise to pay you, let's say in 180 days. So they sign a promissory note. Initially, the boat manufacturer may be perfectly fine with this, but finds out that, oops, a little bit later, maybe a few days go by or a week or so goes by, and the boat manufacturer thinks to themselves, I need some cash. Technically, they can't go back to the boat retailer. I guess they could go back and try to renegotiate the promissory note, but what might be easier for the boat manufacturer is to go to the bank and say, hey, you know what? I have a promissory note that was signed to me by the boat retailer. I have that note. Can I sell you that note? The bank doesn't really care about the terms of this promissory note. It has no interest in that. But what it'll do is figure out, okay, well, how much are you expecting to get? And when are you expecting to get it? And then I can look at my policy and see, well, what kind of a discount can I give you for that note, that amount that's actually going to be received in the future? So the bank figures out a discount rate, discounts the maturity value, that which was going to be paid by the boat retailer, and gives the boat manufacturer a discounted amount. The boat manufacturer gets its cash, it's good to go. It goes and takes care of whatever it needs to take care of. They get the cash proceeds. Meanwhile, the boat retailer, instead of sending the money to the boat manufacturer, they're going to send the amount that's due for the promissory note straight to the bank. So the bank makes money because they sell that note at a discount. The retailer pays whatever it promised to pay right at the beginning of when the loan was issued or the promissory note was issued. The boat manufacturer may or may not have gained on the deal, but it doesn't matter. They needed the cash, so they got the cash. Okay, so the first example here is Jameson. Jameson Plumbing takes a simple interest 180-day note from a contractor with a face value of $64,750 and a rate of 10.5%. The company sells the note to a bank 50 days later at a discount rate of 12%, find the proceeds to the plumbing company. So Jameson first receives a note from a contractor. We don't know who this is, but they must have provided services to the contractor and said, okay, give me some money. And the contractor says, I don't have any cash. But they said, I'll promise to pay you in 180 days. Jameson says, oh, that's fine. I don't need the money right now anyway, so let's just do that. 50 days go by, and now Jameson said, oops, I need some cash. So they go over to the bank and says, hey, Mr. Bank, can you buy this note from me? Because this contractor is going to pay me, well, it was 180 days, but now it's 180 days minus the 50 days. So in 130 days, the contractor is going to pay me on this loan. Can you give me some money? Can you give me some money now? And the bank will say, well, let's go ahead and figure out how much you were supposed to get paid. So the bank is going to turn around and figure using PRT the amount of interest that is going to be paid on this loan, the loan from the contractor or from the contractor in Jameson. So the maturity value equals the principal value plus PRT, the interest. The original loan was $64,750. PRT, principal times the rate times time, 64,750 times 0.105 times 180 over 360. This computation together plus the $64,750 will give you the $68,149.38. Magic. That's what the bank really wants to know. They don't care what the arrangements were. They don't even care about that rate. But they do care about how much money that Jameson was supposed to receive or that's going to receive in 130 days. You say, well, wait, it's a 180-day note, but 50 days did go by. So if we look at this timeline, the note was issued here. If they would have hung on to the note for 180 days, they would get that money. But now we're here. We're 50 days later, and now Jameson says, I need some cash. And the banks say, okay, let me go ahead and figure out exactly how much you were supposed to get, which we did that, $68,149. And now we're going to discount that based upon our policy. We can issue a discount note to you at 12%. Jameson is in a position where they really need the cash, so they say, fine, I'll take the, I'll give you the discount of 12%. Just give me some cash. So the bank goes and computes the numbers and says, okay, well, I know we're going to get $68,149.38 at the end of the loan. We figured that up here, right? That was the interest, the simple interest computation. But now we're going to go ahead and discount that for how long? For 130 days. And at what rate? 12%. So I'm going to get the bank discount is going to be computed by the other formula we learned, MDT. The maturity value, $68,149.38, multiplied by D, the bank discount of 12%, 0.10, multiplied by the T, time is 130 days, 130 days divided by 360. So the total discount is going to be $2,953.14. I'm going to take that amount and the bank is going to subtract that from the maturity value. 68,149.38 minus 2953.14 equals 65,196.24. The bank is going to buy that note for 65,196.24. They're going to give Jameson that amount of money. And they're going to expect to be paid $68,149.38 in when? 130 days. The next example is pretty similar. Matador Recording Studio holds a 200-day simple interest note from a rock group that agreed to pay them to record an album. The 12% simple interest note is dated March 24th and has a face value of $48,000. The recording studio wishes to convert that note to cash, so they sell it to a bank on April 15th. Well, if they're going to sell it at April 15th, if they're going to sell this at April 15th, then we need to know the timing of everything. So let's go down to the bottom and figure out 200 days from the initial note, March 24th. So March 24th, we have to count 200 days. And you can do this a number of ways. You can use the table that's way back in section 1, but when you do that, you'll come up with the number of days. 200 days from March 24th is October 10th. So if we hang on to the loan, if the recording studio hangs on to the loan till October 10th, they are good to go. However, it appears that the notes say that on August 15th, they need some cash. So they go to a third party, probably the bank, and say on August 15th, hey, I have a note that's going to be paid on October 10th. Will you buy that note for me? And the bank will say, yeah, we'll buy that note. But first of all, we have to figure out how many days are involved. So October 10th is the 283rd day of the year. August 15th is the 227th day. The difference is 56 days. So there's going to be 56 days between August 15th and October 10th. Now the bank says, okay, well, let's go ahead and use 56 days to issue this bank discount. Let's look at our policy. Our policy is that we will buy the loan, but we're going to buy it at a discount of 12.5%. Now we have everything we need to compute the proceeds. So we'll use MDT. The maturity value is $51,200. We computed that previously here. That's what's going to be paid at the end of the loan, $51,200. The discount is 0.125. That's the 12.5% that the discount rate applies. And then the term, the number of days or time, is 56 over 360. That's 56 days. That's 56 days remaining. So over 360, the discount is $995.56. So with that discount of $995.56, we're going to take that discount and subtract it from the maturity value. $51,200 minus the discount. So the bank will pay the recording studio $50,204.44. They're going to pay them the $50,204 and expect to receive $51,200 from the artists in 56 days. The last example is Garcia BMW uses cash to purchase $1 million treasury bill with terms of 26 weeks at a 3.5% simple discount. Let's just stop right there and say, okay, well, we're probably going to need to know this, but even if we don't need to know, it'll be a good exercise. So how much did BMW Garcia or Garcia BMW, how much did they pay for that $100,000 treasury bill? Well, it's a 26-week bill, so that's the time. The rate is 3.5%. The maturity value is 100,000, so they're going to buy it at a discount, but they're not going to pay 100,000, they'll pay something less than that. So let's figure out what the discount is. B equals MDT 100,000 times 0.035, that's 3.5%, multiplied by 26 over 52, it's a 26-week term. So 26 over 52 equals 1750. So the discount is $1,750. We're going to subtract that from the 100,000. So Garcia BMW paid $98,250. And they were supposed to hold on to this for 26 weeks. That's like a half a year or 6 months, but 26 weeks is what we're working with, so that's what we'll go with. But let's see, let's go on and read. However, the firm needs cash exactly 8 weeks later. Whoa, it didn't work out that we can hold off the full 26 weeks. So if we need cash 8 weeks later, then we've got to figure, well, how much time is still remaining? So 26 minus the 8. 26 minus the 8 is going to give us 18 weeks. So 18 weeks are remaining. They go to the bank or they go to a third party, whoever it may be. Let's pretend it's the bank. They go to the bank and say, hey, will you buy this treasury bill? And the bank says, yeah, but let's see what we got. So they're going to figure out, well, first of all, they know the maturity value. The maturity value hasn't changed. It's still going to be $100,000. But what's going to change now is the number of the time. It's 18 weeks that are remaining. Okay, so 18 weeks. So the bank is going to go back, okay, let's look it up on our tables and see, well, what's the discount that we can give? And interest rates change all the time. So now the bank looks at what the current rates are and they figure, okay, let's go ahead and use a 3% discount. So the banks will buy this at a 3% discount. Fair enough. Garcia BMW needs the cash, they sell it, and so now the bank has to figure out, well, how much are they going to pay? The bank knows that the maturity value is $100,000. The discount rate is 3%. They're going to use 3%, and the time is no longer 26 weeks, it's 18 weeks. So 18 divided by 52, that's going to be the time or the term. We're going to run the computation on this. We're going to come up with $1,038.46. That's going to be the discount, the bank discount. We're going to take this amount and subtract that from 100,000. So the amount that's actually going to be paid by the bank to BMW or Garcia BMW is going to be $98,961.54. That's going to be the maturity value minus the bank discount. So Garcia BMW gets their money and runs. They've got their $98,961. Now, the question becomes well, did Garcia BMW make any money on this investment at all? And in fact, they did, because they paid originally, let's go back up. They paid $98,250, okay? What did they get? They got $98,961.54. So this is what money is what came in. They're going to subtract what they paid for it, $98,250. And so they made $711.54 in interest. Well, if you want to know the interest rate associated with that, we're going to take $711.54. We're going to divide that R. The formula is R. What does R equal? R equals I divided by P times T. I is $711.54 divided by the P, the principal is $98,250. That was their original investment amount. And times T is the term, 8 over 52. Okay, 8 weeks, 8 over 52. They held that investment for 8 weeks. And it turns out that the rate is 4.71%. So they made a little bit of money off of it. In fact, what were they originally going to? Well, they were going to get a discount of 3.5%. We'd have to go in and figure out exactly if they made more or less money than what they anticipated. But the reality is they didn't get all of the interest because they cashed it out sooner than they expected. So that happens. People, expect that they don't need cash in a certain amount of time, and they have to make adjustments because things change all the time. So they sold it at a discount, and they ended up making 4.71%. Okay, so that takes care of 9.4, and I hope these videos are helpful. Thank you.